Hi everyone. Today's presentation is exploring alternative housing for the Resilient Regions unit. The case study is focused on urban housing in Sydney with Michael Mobbs' home in Chippendale. I've got a little quote here that says, "There's no such thing as waste, just a failure of the imagination," which I think is a really good reminder that sustainable living is achievable for everyone. So to give a little bit of background, Michael started his journey in 1996, where he decided to rejoin the human race after leaving his job as a lawyer. He now produces his own electricity, manages his own waste, captures and recycles water, and produces some food. His home is now more efficient. He's reduced his footprint. He's reduced his water and electricity bills, and he's reduced the pollution, not only in his home, but in his community. And what I find really interesting is that this house looks ordinary. It looks just like any other home. You wouldn't know the functions of this home just by looking at it, which means it really is achievable for everyone. So this case study is going to look at the practical steps Michael's taken and demonstrates what can be achieved at the individual level and the impacts that has on his local community. So first we'll explore lighting. Prior to commencing the project, his family used 24 kilowatts of energy a day. They now use just 10. The house is filled with natural light as much as possible, and he uses things like LEDs, which are more efficient than fluorescent lighting, and he uses glass reflective window shades to bounce the light from the sky into the ceiling and create a bit of light. He told us about his goal. His goal was to be in the kitchen without having to turn the lights on except at night, which he's achieved. And I think it's a great example of using ecological design principles and what's available naturally rather than that reliance on centralised systems and energy sources and things like that. So on the topic of energy, as you can read in Michael's book, Sustainable House, he had a few goals, and that was to use technology that required no maintenance or almost no maintenance, be capable of running itself without technical skills, have low operating costs, and be widely and readily available to repair services. So that led him to install solar panels on his roof. They all work independently of one another and have reduced the temperature in the bedrooms. The solar panels then transmit energy into the lithium battery, and the lithium battery inverter can transmit energy directly to appliances in the home. So it's a real example of sustainability in terms of using what's available from the environment, not having to be constantly consuming, purchasing, repairing, not having to intervene in it too much. He now pays $300 a year in electricity. He's moving to gas, and he's not relying on one system, which is really important. So in terms of water, Michael had a water sanitation test done, which indicated that his home water was actually cleaner than the town water. A little bit about the water systems in his home. He has a self-cleaning gutter, which keeps out some of the slugs and some of the other leaves and things. He hasn't cleaned it in 20 years. He's able to store up to 17,000 litres of rainwater in his own home, which he uses to drink, cook and shower. He has sewerage water that he's reused to flush the toilet for approximately 20 years. And there's not an image here, but he's installed some agricultural piping which can distribute water without taking in the soil. So he puts that near plants, and it's actually all around Chippendale and the community as well, which I'll talk a little bit about later. So here he's demonstrating decentralised systems and sustainability and resilience as he's constantly recycling what he is using. So he's thinking consciously about the resources and maximising their utility. So in terms of food, as Michael was telling us, it takes 1,200 litres of water for the average breakfast of egg, tomato, bacon, yogurt and toast. So food is really energy reliant, and that's what prompted Michael to have his productive fence, which you can see in the image at the top there, where he's able to grow some herbs and some different plants. He also has 2 chickens. They lay 1 egg every couple of days, and they only need a small amount of water in comparison to the commercial egg, which requires 80 litres of water. So you can already see the difference and the benefits of local production and doing things at the individual and community level, as opposed to big commercial levels that, you don't know how far away the egg has travelled from, and the costs and the pollution associated with that. He also has some stingless native bees, so something endemic to the region. They pollinate the garden flowers and crops, and they increase the number of plants, flowers, and insects in the area. And again, with the productive fence, Michael was talking about doing more with less, growing fig, lemons, fruit, and mint. So he's got a diversity of options as well, and he doesn't always have to go to the supermarket in order to eat and do things in his own home. So just in terms of some of the topics, sense of place. So he's modelled sustainable living, and this is now, in the image here on the right, there's a Sustainable Chippendale Active Gardens group that has been established, and they do various activities in the community. They go and grow garden beds, and they have market days and things like that. There are children in the local area who are nurturing the fruit and vegetables and really getting back to more simplified ways of living, and they're really being connected with the food that they're growing and producing, which is really important for establishing that connection and really understanding where your food comes from. A book library has been established. Local tradespeople are being upskilled in sustainable systems, which is really important. So we're transferring that local knowledge. And in terms of social capital, Michael said that it provides a social glue that you can't put a value on. So it's really all about the spirit of cooperation, sharing resources and nurturing the environment together, learning from one another, and relying on one another. And that's really where a sense of community and a sense of place can exist. It's enhanced the relationships and the well-being of the community, which can lead to an increased quality of life. From a sustainability perspective, Michael's project demonstrates sustainability through his Build It In approach, where he talks about efficient appliances and simple strategies. So it doesn't need to be hugely complicated, it doesn't need to be hugely technical, and you don't need to be an expert in order to put these things into practice. So that's, as a suggestion, he was telling us about putting cooling pads under the fridge, and that will increase its efficiency by up to 25%. So really simple methods and strategies can be implemented by anybody. Another practical sense, he reuses and recycles his own water. He has cost-effective solutions and investments, and he's using ecological design principles. He produces food on site and within his community. So small, achievable things for everybody. Chickens don't need a large amount of space. He's got fruit trees, productive fences, herb gardens in the community. All of this can be done by anybody. And by educating his community and sharing what he knows, he's influenced the community to take their own steps towards sustainability, and it's really impacted on the region. Being at the tour myself, one of the participants in the tour was actually a neighbour from a few streets away. So everybody knows about what Michael's doing, and everyone's enthusiasm to be involved is really inspiring. So in terms of building resilience, his project has demonstrated diversity. He's got multiple options for how he gets his light, how he gets his energy, how he gets his food. He's not relying on one system. And the tightness of feedback is really about the cooperation within the community. Everybody working together and building something together. And the picture on the right is from Chippendale Active Gardens, where they said, we need to grow food where we live and work. And as I was saying before, that has really positive impacts on reducing pollution and connecting communities. So in terms of building resilience, he's modelling sustainable practices. This is then encouraging the involvement of the community and organising systems, which then strengthens the community ties and the appreciation and connection to the environment. By having this connection, people will then share their resources and knowledge to conserve and preserve the environment through a diversity of different methods, which creates more efficient and sustainable ways of living. And then again, it's just a cycle. So finally, what is the impact? It demonstrates a more sustainable way of living that's achievable and accessible for everyone. Modification is possible where total redevelopment is not, so you can make changes to your existing home now. It's affordable. It connects the social, ecological, and economical realms. And Michael's philosophy isn't just about going off the grid, it's about using a combination of smart, eco-efficient technology and what's already available in his natural environment. There's financial benefits. If you make an investment, you're going to get savings every year. And he's had an impact on his community. He now works with the City of Sydney Council on other projects. They're looking at reducing the temperature in the community by planting trees and changing the roadways. And Michael's aim was to reduce the resistance to change and innovation in the trade industry. And so by educating other people, you're growing the capacity and the skills of the community, and that's strengthening the region's sustainability and resilience. So by being conscious about the footprint of his house to his food consumption to his community, the impact is really far-reaching, and that's how you can live sustainably in alternative housing. Thank you.